Oh gosh, we're live. Wrong camera.
But we're not.
But we're not. We're never live.
We're never live. We should do a live at some point.
We should. Our final day.
We'll do a live when we come into DC.
Our final day in DC. We're going to do a live stream. All right. We're here. We're buzzing. We're full of energy because we've done nothing today. So we're going to inject some energy into your day today with our vlog. We've got the Broncos background up behind us, which is pretty cool. I have to say, more of an Eagles fan myself, but it'll do. Not the worst team in the world. And we're in, where are we today? We're just outside Bighorn, just outside Sheridan. Which one are we close to?
Sheridan. I think
Sheridan.
10 miles from Sheridan.
Mm-hmm. Sheridan's pretty cool. It's got a pretty cool name, and it's got loads of statues in it. It's got these rams, and the rams are pretty cool. We saw a couple of rams with some nice horns. I love animals with horns. Also, before I forget, there are two things I want to say today. Firstly, rivers. We haven't mentioned any rivers, and on our way over here it's pretty cool because we crossed and followed for a little while the Missouri River, and that's pretty awesome. There's one other one. We were following Clark Fork River for ages, and the third one was Yellowstone River, and Yellowstone River was so broad and winding, and it was just like something you'd see in a what are they called? I want to say dinosaur film. I was going to say dragon film. I'm watching too much Game of Thrones. And the other, and so once we hit, however, also celebration, we're in Wyoming, which is, this is our first night in Wyoming. We're out in Montana, out of the vast, well, they're not really plains, mountains really of Montana, you're mostly in. And once we hit the Mississippi, it started getting really hot. You can probably tell that we're quite sunburned, but we've been flying back to 50, we promise. And once we hit the Mississippi, it's going to become not only hot but really humid. So if any of you know about Florida, I've been there. It's going to be like that sort of humid for like the second half of our trip, which is going to be really, really tough.
And also, big news today, we hit 1,000 miles.
Yes. Come on.
So a third of the way through.
1,000 miles, and we're a good chunk further. We're about 1,075 today because we did so many miles today. We did 155. It's been a really long day. I was just kidding if you didn't get that at the start about it being a really easy day. It was not. It was a 13-hour day. Set off at 7:30, arrived here, gone 8:30. And the other thing was, what's really cool, right, is we're building up endurance muscle at the moment. So when I get back, it's a bit annoying because I probably won't be as quick. But if I'm going on a 10-hour bike ride for some reason, then I'll be pretty good at that. But the other thing is, this is just like a fun fact of the day for you. I was talking to this guy at football, and he's probably, if he's watching, he'd probably like be really annoyed, so I'll totally screw this up. But did you know, kids, when they're really young, the reason that like one kid who's good at athletics is good at everything is because their muscles don't they're like generalized. They don't specify into one like explosive sprinting muscle or like endurance muscle. I forget what the names for them are, but they're all kind of like one. So if they're really good at sprinting, then they're really good at long distance, and it's only when they're like about 8 to 10 years old that they actually start to become more specialised in their sport, which is pretty cool. So yeah.
But back to cycling.
Well, yeah, my point was we're building up endurance muscle, and we're no longer, because James is a bit of a sprint cyclist, and I'm kind of a bit of a mixture in athletics, not really specialised in anything, bit of an 8-year-old already. But yeah, anyway, back to the start of the day.
Why did we leave off yesterday?
We left you yesterday we were just about to go to bed at Robin's house, which was delightful, in Billings, Montana, right up at the top of 155 miles away. And that was we woke up, and she's amazing. She was really, really catered well for us because she was doing a big trip to Canada the next morning, but still had time to like cook us a wonderful breakfast and set us off on such a good start. We had bacon, eggs done perfectly, easy over. I think we don't know.
We can't work it out.
No, so many names for eggs. and toast and orange juice and coffee, and yeah, it was perfect start. Got up out the door.
Straight up a huge hill.
Yeah, for about 7:30. I don't know why. Google Maps, but it was a massive hill. We were climbing. You probably saw our Instagram story. It was a gorgeous view, absolutely gorgeous, but it was it took us out of it because the cumulative effect is starting to build. So like getting out the door this morning, you kind of like felt it in your. Well, I felt it in my legs a bit anyway. I was like, oh, okay, it's already like having cycled 50 miles, and once you get into it, it's alright. But it's just that initial getting your legs moving. And so to have the hill at the very start was a bit of a blow. But then we also had a really nice decline on the other side. I think I missed the stop.
Yeah, and
the missed the turn.
And then after about 20 miles?
Yeah.
You had a puncture.
Oh yeah, so we got onto the I-90 or the what was it? East 212. They're basically like the same roads, and my dad mentioned that would cut out a corner, so we did that, and that was thanks. Took your advice. But yeah, and so the I-90 was really up and down as well. It was so like, and because it's an interstate, the hill's gone for ages, but the downhill's gone for ages as well, which is glorious. And I just started filming with the GoPro, and I was like, yes, we're on a downhill, look at us go, this is awesome. And then suddenly, like, my back wheel goes, and like the inner tube goes, and I just feel the rim of my tyre, just because when you get punchy, you can feel the rim against the surface, and there's no like bumper there. You can just feel every single rock and every single. I'm like, oh no! I'm like, James, and James isn't here because the wind is like rushing through your ears, and so you can't hear a thing. And so I braked and stopped, and I called James to let him know because he was having the time of his life down this hill. And unfortunately,
basically at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, he had to come all the way back up. And my language got rather colourful, and so I stopped the GoPro, and I probably will cut that bit out. But then replaced the inner tube. James the other day had equalised, and we were at 4 punches each. But I've just taken the lead again with 5 punches, so
I've had 3
pretty good. Have you?
Yeah, I had 2 on the way to David's French's house, and then I had 1 on my front.
2.
A couple of days ago.
No, remember you had 3 because you had 1. You replaced it with your first inner tube. That punctured, so you replaced it with your second, and then that punctured, so you replaced it at David's house. Because you were cycling on the puncher for ages. You had 3 in one day. It was horrible.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so we've had 9 punches in 11 days in total, which is not good.
But a lot of those are gravel paths. So.
A lot of those gravel paths, and they're all gravel paths, and then 2 were interstate. And basically, what we found was like this huge, but like in cycling terms, it was like this metal.
I only had 2
wire.
punctures. The first one I changed; it was really annoying, and then there was the second one which I rode on for ages. So I had 2 that day, and then I had 3.
The first one, punctured.
Yeah.
So you changed it for the second one.
Yeah.
Which punctured.
But
so
I didn't change that until David's. I only changed it once on the road.
No, you changed it twice.
I think I changed it once.
Because you changed it in the sun, and then right at the end you were like, I can't remember. Possibly.
We'll say 2.5.
I don't. It seems to. Yeah, I can't remember if we stopped to change it or if it. I can't remember. But it was a long stint. That was the toughest day vlog, and it was. We arrived there at 9:30, and it was.
Hang on, we've done this vlog.
Anyway, we've already done that one. We're back to today, where so I was doing my puncher. Oh yeah, so it was this like metal wire, and it was it was like someone had stapled my tyre with a huge staple gun, and you had to it was really hard to pry out with my fingernails, which are now growing considerably. I need to.
Yeah, I like us actually.
Need to cut those, but we've got a 60-mile day in 3 days time, so we'll have a chance to watch the Champions League and chill out then, and get a little manicure or something. No, but we won't do that.
You fixed puncture fairly quickly. Yeah. Well, no, actually, it took a while, didn't it?
Yeah,
very hot as well.
Yeah, because it was so badly punctured that you couldn't pump it up at all to find out where the puncture was. So it was kind of, I found 2 of these big metal wires. Well, they're like really thin, so but they're Anyway, that I found, and so praying that was it, because with my luck, they before just continued to puncture. But we got that fixed and was riding on that fine, so that was good. And we called that our break because it took a good like 15 minutes or so to fix and then get back on the road. Because it's back wheel punches. They've all been back wheel punches. My front tire's been fine, but it's because of all the weight on the back tire. And our next stop was in. It was after we came off at Lakuta. No, what was it? We came off
somewhere down there, 50 miles,
and then 55 miles. It was. Oh, it's really annoying. It wasn't Hardin, was it?
Yeah, that's it. It was Hardin.
So it's Hardin.
And there's a lovely lady in the shop who filled up our bottles with ice water.
Oh, it's so nice.
And they were boiling hot again about 5 minutes after we set off.
Literally. So hot. Yeah, so we stopped really briefly there, just for 5 minutes.
10 minutes stop there, nice cookie, and then carried on.
Yeah, James got a cookie. And we carried on down that road, and we saw. Okay, it's down this road, down these fields that we were cycling by, because at this point we were cycling on the old highway, which was brilliant because it was just pretty flat and concrete and no cars about. And on the side of the road, there are just hundreds and hundreds of are they prairie dogs or mongoose? Yeah, one of them, like kind of like these tiny little, like a miniature version of meerkats, and just like littered the fields with loads of burrows as well. And they're so cool. They're so cute. I really want one as a pet now. They're like bigger than hamsters, but smaller than meerkats. They kind of sit up, and then they all squeak to each other and tell them that like people are coming by, and that's really cool. And we cycled on. We saw some bald eagles as well, which was pretty awesome. Yeah, saw a couple of them perched up on their electricity pylons, and
we went to lunch, which was in
so lunch we stopped at 35 miles down the line. That was, oh mate, we're gonna have to look at the map.
Yeah. Somewhere down the line, but it wasn't. I mean, it's not hugely.
It's not hugely important.
But we found a nice, what looked like a garage, and then went and realised it was a shop. And this is sort of Native American territory. It's quite cool.
That was it was the one that was 35 miles down the line. It was, it's gonna annoy me so much.
Look it up, but it's a good lunch. We stayed for half an hour.
Yeah.
Used the loos, topped up our water. I bought a Coke and a massive Kit Kat. You bought an orange Coke, or something?
Yeah, I bought an orange vanilla Coke, which I wasn't really sure about, but it was alright.
Ice cream.
And a huge ice cream. It was like king size. It was like triple the size of a normal like cornetto. It's awesome. It's just what I needed. And we got through a loaf of bread and a pound of ham. No, chicken.
Chicken that wasn't
chicken.
It's just that Walmart's great, but you don't buy meat. You buy
some of the clearance stuff is just weird. But we eat it just to keep us going.
Yeah, and it did keep us going.
Yeah,
and then we thought we were going to cycle on to.
Oh, there were a load of kids there. We should say as well. This is that was kind of Native Americans.
I did just say that.
Can you say that?
I did just say that.
Oh, you did just say that. Okay. Oh, and there were a load of kids as well, and they're particularly impressive. Sorry, I'm saying it out.
They asked to race us.
Yeah.
I thought they thought better of it. And then we were aiming to stop in Aberdeen, which I got very excited about. And then we got to Aberdeen, and there was nothing there.
Only to realise it was literally
a quarry, I think, off to the right. Yeah. That was about it.
Oh, and as well, there were these huge, like Star Wars like trucks. They were like huge, like absolutely humongous, with like 2 trailers on the back, filled with this gravel, carrying it to these roadworks which were happening, which we passed on the way to lunch, and they were completely re-tarmacking one side of the road. Which was really cool, apart from it stank, and also we were cycling on the other side of the road, but regardless, a lot of tarmac like spilled out, and because it was still hot, it stuck to our tyres, and by the time we got by and realised, it cooled down and was was literally like glued onto our tyres. We were like there for 10 minutes trying to scrape it off, the fear that it would absolutely ruin them. But we did alright, and got most of it off just in time.
And carried on to
that was when we carried on to lunch, and then we carried on to Parkman. This was when we crossed into Wyoming. Literally, it's about 2 miles into Wyoming, and
and then 2 miles into Wyoming, an Alsatian appeared.
Oh yeah, another dog.
And Sam hasn't learnt by this point. We've been chased by probably 6 dogs.
But this is so
and I saw this dog
so
running,
fluffy.
and I was like, changing the gears. It's like, Sam, let's go. And he's like, look, there's a dog. And the dog chased us onto the road.
So cute.
Sort of sprint intervals.
I
Yeah,
don't
for a
think-
couple of days.
I don't think that I like the
You're
one.
not going to chance it, are you?
No, but the one in where we were going to Odessa from, where we were going to Spokane from Moses Lake, that looked vicious. That looked like it would
This
bite
was an
us.
Alsatian.
No, but it wanted to have a look. It was like
It
the
wants
dogs
to attack
today
us.
came up.
It ran full speed with teeth out, barking. I don't get how that can't be aggressive. But anyway, we cycled on fast past that, and then we got to a bar where we stopped. to fill up
And the
our water
Wyoming
bottles.
sign as well was tiny. We were
Yeah,
really
it was really
disappointed by that
insignificant.
because we were so excited. It was
The
our
other ones
fourth
would be
day.
huge. This was sort of A4 kind of.
Well, yeah, no, it's true.
I think it
The others
would
were
be
bigger.
massive over the road.
Montana,
And this was
Friday.
tiny.
Washington, we were already in. Yeah, yeah. And we stopped at Parkman, and that was lovely. We went to this bar, and it was so cool inside, and the lovely bar lady filled up our water bottles, and I had a Pop-Tart to keep me going. That's really kept me going this trip. Is the Pop-Tarts, yeah, just refreshed. Literally 5-minute pit stop before we then went on to Monarch, where we decided that the best bet, because we weren't really sure at this point, it looked like went to a dirt track, we weren't chancing that, so we hopped onto the I-90 for 2 stops, and so took the second exit after that, which was about 5 miles down the road. 5 miles from that, navigating through the cities. Google Maps again took us on a really weird route.
Nice route though.
But it was quite a
Decided
nice route, yeah. It was all like concrete, and we saw some like kids out playing volleyball as well, which was like, oh, it looked like so much fun. Want to go join in, but we still had like 10,
10 miles
15
to go,
miles
yeah.
to go at this point, yeah.
We stopped at the Walmart, bought lunch for tomorrow, and a donut.
And some bars, most of which I ate on the way over for the last 10 miles.
And then we had 10 miles to go through these beautiful, scenic, winding hills through the bighorns.
Yeah, and they were so, the sun was setting behind us.
Prairie dogs, deers.
There were so many deers. We literally saw hundreds of deers today, hundreds, and they were like, with their white tails and the way they sprang. I'm never gonna get over it. I'm never ever gonna get over it. And apparently there are antelope here too as well. So hopefully we'll see this tomorrow, which apparently have like horns, like black horns, and apparently they're like the fastest animals in North America, which is really really cool. And we saw some awesome bulls as well, with some like massive horns. One of them had horns which were just perfect. They kind of came out sideways and then pointed upwards like that, and you didn't want to cross that one at all. Saw some rams, saw some lambs, just everything really. It was so peaceful.
And we're on that road all of tomorrow as well. It's about 90 miles. Staying on that road, little traffic, concrete winding hills through the mountains.
Hardly any cars, and
Don't
we
need to turn off at all, so it should be a good day.
It was lovely today because it was really cool on that road. Because as we said, the sun was setting, and so it's a really nice end to the day. But tomorrow, obviously, in the heat again. But tomorrow, we saw a sign with 10 miles to go. It said 107 to Gillette, and so you only have 97 tomorrow, because that was 10 miles out. And we're going to set off at the same time. We should hopefully get there for like 4 or 5 as opposed to 8 or 9, which we're really looking forward to. Really looking forward to an early night, and we're staying with a couch surfing host there actually instead of a warm shower host. So we're going to see how that is. Probably might need to go out by then. The warm shower host has been amazing. We should say we arrived, and their profile picture is of their daughter in the letterbox, and so we're cycling up and recognised the letterbox, and it's just gorgeous. And they had like this red. It was kind of like
clay,
yeah. And it was and just cycled down that. It's so picturesque. So it's red clay, long driveway,
led by 2 Labradors.
Yeah, a little creek on the side with a wooden bridge over it. 2 Labradors, which was so friendly. Nice big house, which they designed themselves actually, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, just 10 miles out of the city, but it feels like you're in the middle of nowhere in a really nice way. And we had a huge dinner of spaghetti bolognese. I had 2 huge platefuls, and salad and a lovely local beer, and yeah, pretty much showered. Now we're here ready to go to bed. Big day tomorrow. Actually relatively small compared to what we've done. But yeah, I think that's about it. They're just shattered.
Closed in the dry.
Yeah, closed in the dry. We had a wash today. Thank you again, John, for letting us use your washing machine. You've been awesome.